Hello, you beautiful people out there. This is Dr. Vineeta once again in order to give you some amazing announcement today. And before we go ahead with the details, I would want to wish my amazing community member Happy New Year. May this 2026 be blessed for all those amazing entrepreneurs who currently are in the community. So wish you and your family a blessed and a prosperous new year. So for those who do not know me, I see that the community has been almost building every single day. We've almost expanded to 10,000 plus staffing agency owners, home care agency owners, nurses, and I'm really excited for the same. So I welcome every one of you in this amazing community. I am the proud owner of this group, this community which has been built with love, especially for the medical fraternity in order to take care of their entrepreneurship requirements. No matter what stage you are currently at, whether you're just a nurse, maybe working, or you actually want to tap into entrepreneurship, you might be thinking of starting a staffing agency, you might be thinking of starting a home care agency. This is the community which has been built exclusively only for my amazing entrepreneur clients like yourself. All right, so today this is really going to be amazing. It's going to be something really exciting, especially at the start of the year. I have some amazing announcements to be made for those who basically do have a home care agency. So before people, I see a lot of people joining in, I would want to announce that today's live is about the most critical important topic in the staffing market, which is contracts. Yes, you heard that right. Today I'm going to exclusively be announcing all those amazing contracts that we currently do have nationwide for my amazing community members. But yes, today's topic is exclusively only for non-medical home care agencies. So if you do have a home care agency, if you are servicing a non-medical home care, no matter which state you're currently at, this live is for you. Right? If you do not have a home care agency, if you have some other business, to be honest with you, this live will not be beneficial for you. So stay tuned if you are an proud owner of non-medical home care, because I have something amazing to be announced, especially because we have been receiving a lot of inquiries in my DM, and instead of answering each and every one by one, I thought of why not just go live and get that announced in this beautiful community. Before I begin, let me quickly check whether I can see myself okay, whether I can hear myself okay. For people who have been joining in live, please, I would want you to comment below, where are you joining me from, whether you can hear me okay, because this live is going to be really crucial. There are a lot of details and information which is going to be shared over here, especially in regards to contracts, contract types, how this is going to be beneficial, etc. So I want to make sure that everyone pay close attention to this and I stream myself okay. So just give me quick minutes in order to just check whether I can hear myself okay. Just a moment there. In the meantime, for people who are joining in, do let me know where exactly are you guys joining me from? Which state do you have your non-medical home care business? Do you have it in Texas? Do you have it in Pennsylvania? Which state are you currently joining me from? Just a moment. Okay, I can basically hear myself okay. So give me a minute. Okay. Yes, okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is now I am going to give you the details in regards to what are the type of contracts that we currently do have nationwide for amazing non-medical home care agency owners, right? And I would also like to let you know that the contracts that we currently do have are exclusive contracts. But before we begin, I would want to introduce myself to you first, because I see a lot of new people joining in, and I'm sure, that I would love to actually introduce myself so that you understand who I am, what kind of services we offer, etc. My name is Dr. Vineeta Pillai. I am a doctor by profession and a certified psychologist as well. I'm a proud owner of this huge, amazing amazing community, have been successfully assisting almost, as of today, it's 825 clients, exclusively having staffing agencies, having home care agency nationwide. I have a huge team of basically 40 people working all across the globe for my clients. So who are these people? I have different team members and departments in-house. For an instance, I do have a dedicated set of recruiters, dedicated set of contract managers, JACO certifications and accreditations experts, vendor management system and MSP experts. I do have contract talent acquisition experts as well. So today you can call us as a one-stop shop solution for all your staffing agency and home care agency requirements, right? Coming back to basically what's this all about today? Today's live is exclusively to announce all the amazing contracts that we currently do have exclusively for home care agency owners. So before I begin, I would like to let you know this live is exclusively for businesses who are operational since more than 2 whole years. Because the prerequisites, that's basically the criteria, is if you are a home care agency owner, specifically a non-medical home care agency owner, been operational since 2 years, has been successfully staffing contracts, who have caregivers ready to go, then these are the contracts that we have for you. I'll also let you know this live is not for people who are basically freebie seekers, thinking of just taking the information. No, this is real business. These are real contracts. These are not leads. These are absolutely nowhere. These are leads. These are real contracts that we currently do have exclusively for home care agencies, right? These are basically live-in contracts, 24/7 contract, 12-hour contract, etc. I'm going to give you the details for every contract. But just before we begin, I don't want to basically, I would say, let people know, if you do not have a non-medical home care agency, this live is not for you. If you are someone who are seeking for freebie information, thinking of, let me think about it, this is not for you. If you are someone who actually needs these contracts free of cost, this is not for you. Why? Because I'll give you the details of every contract coming in the next, upcoming trainings. Just wanted to let you know, please pay close attention, keep a pen and paper handy, because there are a lot of information which I do have in order to share it with everyone who's currently joining in, right? So what do I mean by what kind of contracts do I have? I have been a business coach since almost 6 years now. This has been almost in December, 6 years have been completed. And what kind of business coaching do I do? I assist nurses, caregivers, CNAs, LPNs, doctors in order to tap into entrepreneurship. So what do I mean by that? I know 99% of clients, my clients, are currently into a 9-to-5 job. Right? They are working for someone else, having the expertise into nursing, having those crucial experience, the dynamics, etc. They are still working for someone else, making somebody else rich. What do? I assist them. You do not have to leave what you do. What I do is I assist them in getting started, no matter what they are doing, in getting started right from the scratch. Whether you want to start a staffing agency, whether you want to start a home care agency, whether it's a group home agency, we have it all under one roof. Right? So this is basic. I do have different programs which basically comes under my circle, my umbrella. But coming back to topic, that how do I have this kind of contracts? What do we mean by contracts? Contracts are a direct revenue generating machine for a staffing business. Please do not mistake contracts to any superficial leads. Your contract means a direct acquisition of a client in exchange for revenue. Whether it's a staffing contract, whether it's a home care contract. We are completely client acquisition services that we provide with 100% guarantee for my clients. We do have staffing contracts. We also do have home care non-medical contracts as well. Coming back to what kind of contracts do I have in the non-medical field? I do have nationwide contracts across all the states which are private pay contracts. These are critically ill patients, bedridden, people who basically have just got discharged from the hospitals who are currently seeking for caregivers, whether they are seeking for caregivers maybe from different age groups. I also do have caregiver requirements from babies to adults, who are bedridden, babies who basically have some other kind of deficits, etc. So this is a mixed population of contracts and the age group that we currently service. Now, how am I getting these contracts? To be honest with you, these contracts are basically of my clients internally after successfully assisting 820. I repeat myself very proudly, 820 clients nationwide. These are internal clients who we already have serviced 2 years back, 3 years back, 4 years back. I do have clients who being with me since even 5 to 6 years, right? So please do not mistake these contracts for any leads. These are not leads. If you need the contract, this is going to be 100% guaranteed contract on paper. That's number one. Number two, this contract is exclusively going to be in between you as an agency and the client, that is the private pay client. We do not take a single percentage out of these contracts. I repeat myself, we do not take a single percentage out of these contracts. These contracts are exclusive contracts. That means, for an instance, if I have 7 contracts at the moment for Florida, I have 8 contracts at the moment for Texas, and I do have 12 contracts at the moment for California. If in Florida, I have a contract maybe in, I would say, Jacksonville, this contract will be exclusively being sent to you having the prerequisites mandatory checklist completed. This is not for everyone. This is not for newbie seekers. This is not for someone who's just started. I am seeking for someone experienced into home care contracting, experience in regards to interviewing caregivers, having fully credentialed caregivers ready to go. I am not giving these contracts to someone who's going to take the contract and then hunt for a caregiver. I repeat myself, I am not going to be giving the contract to an agency who basically will be taking the contract and then seeking or searching for a caregiver. These contracts are on a high priority, urgent basis. They require the caregiver to be sent out anyway within 7 to 8 working days. Okay, that's number one. Number two, these all are private pay contracts. So there is absolutely no insurance which would be basically involved over here. The client is going to be a private pay client who's exclusively going to pay you weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. It depends upon the contract type directly into your agency. Number three, all these contracts are a long-term contract. I do not have any contract which I would be giving you which is for 6 months only, for 3 months only, no. For an instance, if there is a critically bedridden patient, that patient requires a caregiver for a lifetime, for a long time. If she is not happy with your caregiver, you absolutely do have the availability to basically replace that caregiver under your agency. So these are 100% guaranteed contracts. I repeat myself, these are 100% guaranteed contracts because these are real families, these are real patients seeking for professional caregivers. Now let's understand what type of contracts are these. These contracts are in 2 types, whether you require a live-in. I do have caregivers which is live-in requirements 24/7, living in the setup of the client's private based residence. And number 2, there are shifts which are required, maybe 9 to 5, maybe a 12-hour shift, or maybe a 16-hour shifts, etc. So I have different requirement, but these contracts are not for new home care agency owners because these are highly revenue generating contracts which we do have. Coming back to how soon can you staff, or maybe how soon you do have caregivers, as I told you, the time frame that the clients have given us is 7 to 8 working days, right? within 7 to 8 working days, we have to ensure that the contract has been signed, the caregiver has been interviewed, the documentations have been sent for the caregiver, and the caregiver begins in the 7 to 8 days setting, because that's the urgency, because these are critically bedridden patients, these are small kids, these are urgent contracts. So please, if you are watching me live, if you do not have a caregiver, this live is not for you. We have received 52 applications from home care agency owners, and I myself personally am looking into that, because to be honest with you, this is an involvement between bridging the gap of a private pay client and a home care agency, and I have taken the 100% responsibility for the same. Coming back to how we actually can get the payment, what exactly is the payment all about? Let's consider maybe a caregiver requirement in Florida, and the caregiver is required for maybe a 9 to 5, right? Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Saturday, Sunday, weekend is not needed. So for an easy calculation, let's understand whether, this person basically is being paid. Let's consider maybe, $20 to $25 per hour, right? For an easy calculation, let's consider $20 per hour, right? Every day, servicing for 8 hours, it briefly approximately is $160 per day, right? If you multiply that with 20 working days, that's 160 into 20. Honestly, I'm absolutely not that great in maths, but you do the calculation. Whatever is the number, that amount the private pay client is directly going to pay you, being a business owner, into your business bank account, okay? And you have to pay your caregiver. That means your caregiver will be on your payroll. The client will not be paying your caregiver. Now, you might be thinking, how do I make profit out of it? The profit percentage totally lies between you, being the business owner. Whether you want to keep 50-50, whether you want to keep 60-40, whether you want to keep 70-30, that is completely on a sole discretion for you. I cannot say that. But all I want to say is these are the different kinds of contract, right? So if you do the math, on a total annual compensation, what I am giving you is, I am not going to give you a lead, right? I am giving you a well-oiled machine which will be generating revenue consistently every single month, right? This is going to be documented. Nothing is going to be verbal, by the way. This is going to be documented. There would be 2 types of agreements which would be crafted. First agreement would be between me, that's my company, and you as a home care agency owner, stating that I'm going to get you deployed in this contract within 4 to 5 working days or 7 working days, right? There are process here. You basically have to go through a complete, once when this proposal is being signed, that's a second agreement which is released between the client, that's the private pay client, and you as a home care agency. So you basically have 2 guarantees. First guarantee is from my side that these contracts will be deployed within this stipulated amount of date. And the data, as I told you, I do have contracts on table ready as of today, right? And the second contract is between the private pay client and you as a home care agency owner. After the 2 contracts aside, that's when you get onboarded. What do you mean by onboarding? There are basically virtual meeting for the caregiver, which the caregiver will be directly interviewed by the client, right? So I would recommend you to keep at least 1 to 2 caregivers ready. If the client does not like the one, you do have someone in the buffer, right? First, there will be a virtual interview which would be conducted on camera, and then there would be an in-person interview conducted directly between the client at a private pay client's residence. That's when you will have to physically walk there along with your caregiver with all the intake forms of the caregiver and take an approval when do they want the caregiver to get started, and that's how you get started. Coming back to now, what are the fees involved? As I mentioned, these are not free contracts. I repeat myself, these are not free contracts. There is a talent acquisition cost involved in the contract, and this varies, depends upon the percentage, right? If I am I'll just ask you a quick question. If you give somebody a contract which is generating almost $100,000 on an annual, do you think that contract should be given to somebody absolutely free of cost? If you think, then to be honest, you are not a business owner, right? These contracts have an administrative cost attached to it. Why? Because as I told you, I am the supplier, the mediator between a non-medical home care agency and the client, right? So I will definitely screen people, screen agencies, screen your caregivers as well. I am not going to allow any caregivers to just go in and start the work. Tomorrow, what if anything happens to the private pay client? The client is not going to catch you as an agency owner, because the client is going to catch me, because I have taken 100% responsibility of giving this contract to you being a home care agency owner, right? So there will be thorough reference checks which would be done for your home care agency, and there will also be thorough reference checks which would be done for your caregiver as well. So there are administrative costs which would be involved for every contract. Every contract depends. For an instance, if it's a contract which is giving you a revenue of maybe $50,000, this would be a cost of one-time payment of $1,500. Okay, if there's a contract which is giving you a revenue of $100,000, contract increases. If it is a live-in contract, that means 24/7 on a long-term basis, then we do have a fixed cost involved to these contracts, which are $5,000 upfront payment. I'll also let you know why the upfront payment, because to be honest with you, if I give the home care agencies details directly about the clients, and the client basically starts, the caregiver starts, what if the agency, or maybe the client are my clients, but what if the agency skips me, right? So to be honest, I want to be 100% transparent here. I do not want to hide anything, neither I want to give you any wrong information. If you think that these contracts, let me begin with the caregiver, and can I pay you later, can I pay you in parts, sorry, these are not for you. I am seeking for agencies who already have been generating contracts, who know what type of these contracts are, and who have the pool of caregivers ready. These contracts are not free of cost, because this is where you do not need to spend a dime on marketing. You do not want to spend a dime on anything. No paid ads required, no subscriptions required, nothing at all. You know what I'm talking about. These are 100% guaranteed contracts which we currently do have for you. So if you are basically interested to know what kind of contracts I have, where exactly are these available, I basically have a spreadsheet which I currently have made. And yeah, we currently do have urgent requirements in Florida. I have almost 8 contracts at the moment in Florida, right? The Florida areas, the counties that we have contracts is number 1, which is the Boca Raton. Number 2, I do have contracts basically in Miami-Dade. Number 3, I do have it in Jacksonville. And I do have in few other, I have not memorized it, but just to let you know, I do know the number. I do have 8 contracts, private pay contracts for non-medical home care agencies in Florida. Coming back to Pennsylvania, I do have one urgent client who is seeking for 24/7 support for a caregiver. This is a revenue generating contract, because she is going to provide the caregiver 24/7 live-in accommodation, which 3 times food, there are meals as well, and there are a lot of other benefits too. This contract will be $150,000 revenue, which would be generated on a total annual compensation. Right? So if you are interested in the Pennsylvania contract, if you have anyone who basically can fly, it's basically, it's really urgent, because this client is bedridden. Okay, she requires somebody very urgent, and I had one of my client who was staffing this client, I believe 2 years back, and their contract has come for renewal. So please do understand the urgency of clients, and if you have someone, maybe your friends or maybe your family, feel free to just refer them to this contract, which is currently in Pennsylvania. Coming back to next, yes, I have one urgent contract in New York. And if you want the details, you can just watch my stories, which I basically keep on posting. My team posts all the marketing flyers in regards to the county availability. In New York, we do have a requirement for basically a 72-year-old man who is currently bedridden. Right, so this is again an amazing contract. This client is basically ready to pay, I believe, $8 to $10,000 per month exclusively for the agency. So if you have someone in New York who actually can get started, because to be honest, this client requires a caregiver as of yesterday, so you can understand the urgency, right? So this is basically a 7 to 8,000, and yes, I have 22 contracts in Texas at the moment. Yes, you heard that right. It's 22. I do have contracts private pay literally everywhere in Texas. I do have it in Arlington, I have it in Houston, I do have it in Dallas, and few other counties as well. So Texas is a highly, I would say the demand is high, especially because we are in the start of the year. Coming back to California, yes, I do have, I believe, 14 non-medical contracts in California at the moment, urgent, right? So these were the details of how the contract process looks like. And if you have any further questions in regards to anything about the contract, all you need to do is just slide into my DMs. This community is exclusively being crafted only for my amazing community members and entrepreneurs like yourself, right? So please do not worry in regards to how I basically what type of questions. Do not hesitate. My DMs are always open for you. All right, so coming back to what needs to be done, all what you have to do is just DM me your state. If you are, I repeat the prerequisites once again, if you are a home care agency owner being in business since 2 years, do have someone who can go to the client literally in 7 to 8 working days, have caregivers ready to staff, then this contract is for you, right? I would appreciate, please do not take the contract and make the client wait, because at the end of the day, I am in as a mediator being responsible for the level of delivery being done at the client's residence, for the level of caregivers being sent out, and also at the end of the day representing you as a home care agency in front of the private pay clients, right? So that was it about today, right? I will be going in live exclusively for another time for giving you the details for the healthcare staffing. But if you have anyone in search of maybe non-medical home care contracts and are exclusive in these states, feel free to tag them, feel free to share this live. I'm going to drop this live basically on my YouTube channel as well. If you're not following me on YouTube, feel free to follow me there. I keep on going live all the time on the YouTube as well. So that was it from my end. It was amazing meeting and connecting with every one of you. I hope this live basically answered the frequently asked questions for almost 52 people who has slided into my DM. To be honest with you, opening 52 DMs is not easy. At the end of the day, I am human. So please do watch this live. I hope I have answered all your questions. In case if your questions are unanswered, feel free to slide in my DM and I am always more than happy to answer you there. Yeah, so that was it from my end. I hope you like this and I would love to work with you. I would love to see you inside soon. Have a wonderful and a blessed day ahead. Bye for now.